this tutorial, we're looking at how to create and submit a vehicle as a type of virtual good in the Space Virtual World platform. To do this tutorial, you need to have installed Unity. You need to have created an account at curator.sine.space, and you need to import the Space Editor pack to your Unity project. And when you've done all that, you should see the Space menu item in the top menu bar. So Space currently supports 4 types of vehicles. The process for each of them is much the same, so I'm going to focus on a land vehicle, a car. There are also planes, boats and hover vehicles. In the wiki you'll see documentation for all of them, but potentially the most tricky is the car because the physics interacts directly with the terrain. So I'm going to look at that one, and the rest are self-explanatory. So to do this, I've got a racing track, which is also a region that I've uploaded so I can test it. And I've imported an asset into the project, a little car that I bought from the Unity Assets store. So I'm going to drag that out here. And at the moment, it's just a mesh with no scripts attached. I'll just rotate it so that it's facing the track. And into my scene, I'm going to search for player, and I'm going to drag this blue capsule called player char, and that means that when I press play, I've got a character I can run around with, and I can test the car on my desktop just as it will work in the main live servers. So I need to add some components to the car, and the first thing I need to add is called the car vehicle component. So in the inspector, you click add component and then type car vehicle, and you'll see it adds 3 components: a rigid body, a physics script, and a script for the animation. I'm also adding a virtual goods script. You may have seen this generic virtual world component before. It allows you to productize the object. And now what I need to do is dig into this vehicle, and I'm going to find the mesh itself, which I can now see highlighted there. And I'm going to add a component here, and I'm going to add a collider. So I'm typing in, there are lots of different types of colliders. I'm going to add a simple box collider. So I'm now coming back to the scripts on the parent object, and we'll start with the rigid body. I'm not going to touch the mass drag or angular drag, but I am going to leave gravity on, and I'm going to switch is kinematic on as well. The mass and the drag and the angular drag all interact with the torque and the revolutions per minute, and for each vehicle you create, you need to fiddle with them a few times to get them as to give you the performance that you're looking for. I am going to set the collision as dynamic in the rigid body script, and the mouse control here on the car physics script will obviously drive the wheels via the mouse. I'm going to leave that off for this one. I find it easier to drive using the keys. If you're doing a sort of runner type game and you want the car to constantly be in motion, you can set a minimum speed, but I'm not going to do that here. But what I am going to do is dig into the object again and find the wheels, and I'm going to drag the 4 wheels into the slots here. So I've got front right and front left, back right and back left. I'm not going to touch these settings here until I've started driving it, but I am going to set it all-wheel drive. I find that the front or back wheel drive is very slow and very hard to steer. So I've done the basics now. and it will move around. I've got a slot here for an animation. If you leave that empty, then your character will continue to do its idle pose, which means that I will be sticking out of the roof, and as there's no sunroof, that's going to look a little awkward. So I'm going to grab a very simple single frame static pose that I created, just the right shape to make sure that the avatar is inside the car. And I'm going to drag the take from within the FBX file into that ride animation field. So now I should be able to get into the vehicle and drive it very badly and crash almost immediately. And my guess is I'm probably going to spin out as soon as I reach that first corner and then roll over onto the roof. So I press play. And now you can see the vehicle is clickable because I've added those scripts to it, and I jump in when I click on it. And now I can use WASD or the arrow keys to move around, and this is a cactus. Oh. Yeah, okay, so this is a complete dog's dinner. So I need to tinker with the settings and work out how to drive in a straight line. The first thing I'm going to do with this vehicle is I'm going to reduce the torque considerably. So if I go back to that physics script, so it's currently at 100. I'm going to drop that down to 10. So just one simple change. I'm not going to touch anything else yet. So I press play again, jump in, and that actually does feel better already. I'm staying on the road. It's still a little edgy, but I'm not losing control. The back's not spinning out. I can recover when I go off the road. That's actually quite good. All right, well, I think that's probably good enough for me to upload and test in world. I shouldn't have any different performance when I'm playing with it in WebGL or in the desktop build, because the physics is client side with then regular updates being sent to the server. But I might make some finer adjustments. For the moment, it's a vehicle, so I'm going to fill in the virtual goods script. I'm going to call it, I think the object itself from the person who designed the mesh is called Pony. So I'm going to take that name and call it Pony Car. It's a small car. I'm going to put our brand on it. I won't localize in this, but I've got a couple of images. As per our other tutorials on virtual goods, your images should be PNG files, 430 by 430 for store images, 96 by 96 for the inventory image. Store image is actually a little redundant here because I'm not going to put this on sale because it's somebody else's intellectual property. I'm just using it for a demo. So I'll tick it not for sale here. It's not in any way an obscene car, so the rating can be for everybody. I'll just put the developer details in here. And the category is vehicle, land, car. So now, as with previous tutorials, the submission button is grayed out. That's because I'm working with the version in the scene. And what I need to do is commit the changes that I've made back to the version in the project. So I go to the top of the inspector and I click apply, and all of the changes you've just seen me make are now pushed onto the original version in the project file here. You can now see has those components added to it, and the submission button is live here. So I click automatic submission, and once I get an email confirming that it has been processed, I can log in. So I'm in World, and I can go to my inventory and click on vehicles, and you can see actually there's 2 copies because I did a test earlier, but this pony car one is the one you just saw me upload. So I'm going to click that and click drive. It appears in front of me. I jump in, and we're off. And this is, yeah, pretty much the same. So as I say, the physics is client-side, so you can create racing games and other sort of competitive environments where the physics really matters. It's instantaneous for me here, and then regular updates are sent to all other users in the scene. There are additional documentation on the website about hovercraft, vehicle and boats, but I hope this is a useful introduction to vehicles.